Welcome to the Daily Gerry Anderson podcast, the first podcast of the new year, which today begins the new year in much the same fashion as the old year ended, dealing with matters of personal vanity. Sometimes little changes. I had a good chat with Jimmy, and I've got an estimate.
Oh, good. Right.
Not from him, of course, but an estimate as to what the estimate might be.
Right.
I'm mulling it over.
Are you prepared to tell us?
No, I'm just leaving it at that, because I'm of two minds yet. Just in case people are listening and wondering what we're talking about, I'm considering a transplant, a hair transplant. But Jimmy it's working for him. His hair's getting.
Was it painful? Did Jimmy say?
I didn't ask him. I don't care about
the first
pain.
thing I would ask.
No. See, pain is of no consequence to me.
You wanted to know the price right
away.
I would have asked about pain.
No. I just wanted to know the price. His hair's getting very curly. It's really nice. You have no idea how good it is.
All right, okay.
And I asked him how many times he had it done, but he wouldn't tell me. And I suspect that it's more than once.
And you went all the way over to London to talk to him about that, and he didn't tell you the questions that you...
Well, it was a private consultation.
That's private that he doesn't talk to you?
Well, he didn't talk to me about it. He just nodded if I asked him a question. And every once in a while, if the answer was yes, he'd go... And if it was no, he'd go like that. See, he didn't want me there.
No.
Anyway, Happy New Year to you. And Happy New Year to all the listeners. Sometimes it's awkward talking about intimacy. All over the place, people are hugging each other and air kissing. I blame foreign travel and the Italians. This practice has even reached Catholic Ireland.
That's a nice wee Gansey you've on today.
Thank you very much.
It's very nice, very fetching. It's nice colour.
When I got up this morning, I had a number to choose from. Who's that looking around the...
Emma. Emma's had to change seats. Ken's in her seat. Ken's sitting beside me with a torch in his hand.
Janet, Emma is closer to me now.
She's closer to you now.
Oh,
yes.
Look around the curtain, Emma. Oh. Hello, darling. Here's a personal one for you. Here's a personal greeting for you. Yeah. After all I did for you, you left me sad and blue. What can I say? Guess that's your way, my friend. I was a giver. You were a taker. I even wiggled my moneymaker. I lifted my leg for you. That's from Wendy Austin.
Oh, nice.
Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy. Happy New Year.
Wendy's very displeased that you've ignored her. Yes, you have. Ever since she lifted her leg, you haven't been the same towards her.
I embraced Wendy in Belfast.
I know, but it's the matter of the embrace that matters. It's the matter of the embrace. It's the intent. There's such a thing as an affectionate embrace, and there's not such a thing as a lecherous one. And I myself am prone to the lecherous one.
I can't do it.
I know you can't do it. You can't hug people.
I can't.
I'll teach you. Come on in here. Come on. Send Emma in.
I can't.
I'll show you how to.
I'm an unhuggable person.
No, but you see, yes, well, to look at, yes. But you see, the fact is, it's not that you're unhuggable.
I
am.
Mean,
people can hug you.
No, but I...
If you say you're unhuggable, it means that you can't be hugged. I'm saying is you're not a hugger.
No, I'm not a hugger. I go
Look,
rigid.
I can't practice on Ken. Ken,
no,
let Sean hug you there.
No.
Go on.
No.
Go on, he's nice.
I'm not bad. I'm not bad.
He's nice and plump. Ken.
Plump Ken. No, I don't like it at all.
No, it's because of the way you've been brought up. You see, we were brought up not to show emotion. But I got over that because I went away from home. You see, whenever you go away from home and live other places, you learn it's okay to show emotions. But remember what it was like when we grew up here. Derry, Stoke, London, Derry. Yeah. Everything was grey. Do you remember if you had to get a red shirt, you had a flight to Naples? And everything was grey, and cars were grey, and ships were grey, and clothes were grey, and people were grey. People's complexion, the brew was grey. Everything was grey. The walls were grey.
Remember it was grey getting coloured lining in your suit? You thought you were doing something different?
You thought it was somehow wrong to get coloured. Remember, you used to get a kind of a satin thing in your suit.
I had yellow lining.
Oh, yes. You're a big boy.
You're a big bold.
You see, we were discouraged. Now, I don't know about you, but my parents were lovely, but they weren't hugging people.
No.
Because they weren't brought up to hug people. My mother was brought up in the country, and she was a very affectionate person, but they weren't brought up to show affection. And my father, do you know, my father wouldn't speak to me in the street. I told you about that before. He used to stand up at the corner with all his friends and spit.
But men are hugging. Men are going overboard now with hugs.
Men are hugging each other.
That's what I mean. Men are hugging.
There was a time when you'd turn the corner if you saw that.
I know.
Men are kissing each other and everything.
It's not good.
It's great. No, but you should learn to go with the flow. You should go to Italy for a while. Stay there for a while. Live there for a couple of months and watch how the men hug each other. And they go in, what you feel?
I don't know where they look. That's my problem.
Look over their shoulders.
No, but what do?
You saw me hugging Phil Coulter one day. And you criticised me for that because you complained that Phil didn't respond. But you see, the point was that my love was there. Phil didn't have the love in him. He walked in with his big hat on, and I threw my arms around and gave him a big smack.
But it's hard for a man to hug another man with a hat on.
Well, you see, that's
Because your
not
rim
my
gets
fault.
in the way.
That was him choose to put the hat on. I mean, if I had had my way, I'd have flung it off him. But I put my arms around him and gave him a big hug. But he was stiff, wasn't he?
Yes.
He was wooden. And you're the same. You're stiff and wooden.
I am no good.
I've
Yes.
seen you.
Yes.
I've observed you.
I'm no
boys
good
hugging
at
you.
all. I
The
can't-
Brian Kennedy comes in. Brian always hugs me.
Yes.
That's as far as I go. You know, the first date.
I don't.
And he hugs you as well, but you don't like it.
I don't like it at all.
I've seen you squirming.
Yes. But even with girls, I don't like it.
No,
with
but you see,
girls,
this is what I can't understand.
I don't like
You
it.
see, you should regard it, if a girl comes over and hugs you, you should regard that as your boat coming in. But you don't regard that as your boat coming in at all. You regard that as an ordeal to be got through.
That's right.
Emma, go and hug him.
No.
Hug him, Emma. Emma, go on.
I'm not a hugger.
Go on.
No. I'm a
Go on.
non-hugger.
She doesn't want.
No,
she
she doesn't
doesn't
want
want
it.
to.
No, I don't have hug appeal.
I think you have.
No, I don't.
No,
I
you see,
don't.
you put people off, but it's the way you were brought up.
I just like to nod my head and say, "How you doing?"
It's all them priests.
I'm a
and
nodder.
Catholics.
I'm a nodder. I prefer to nod.
No, you're a handshaker.
I'm a handshake. I like handshake.
How you doing, boy? You're one of those.
I was introduced to a girl on Saturday night, and we shook hands. And I said to her, "I said the way, yes." I shook her hand. She put her hand out, and I shook her hand. And I said, "You have a good, firm handshake. I like that." And it was that wrong?
Yes, it was.
And she said to me, "Thank you," but I liked her handshake.
You said to a girl, "You've got a good, firm handshake,
Aye.
love." Oh, she'll enjoy that.
I liked your
She'll
handshake.
go home and she'll say it to somebody, and they say, "Do you know what he was trying to say to you?
What
Do
was,
you know what he was
what?
trying to say?" No, I'm not going to say it.
No, but I liked her. I
You've got a
immediately liked-
You've got a man's handshake, love. More talk ensues about the stars, the presenter being on first name terms with just about everyone who's anyone. They regard him as one of their own and wonder who Sean Coyle is and what he's doing there. Do you know one of those things that happens to you and you don't know why they happen, but then when you look back you can see why it happened?
What are you talking about?
I'm getting to it. Beverly D'Angelo, she came here to make a movie in Dublin called High Spirits, along with Peter O'Toole and people like that. And she lived for a while.
You're doing that with your mouth again?
I know, I'm sorry. There's
Stop
something
it.
wrong with me
It's
mouth.
very old.
There's something wrong with me. No, what happens is I've chipped me tooth.
Oh, yes, you should stop.
It's
That's
chipped
a
me
bad
tooth.
Sign. It's a sign of age.
I've chipped me tooth and it's sticking into me cheek here and I'm trying to free it.
Emma wants to know what you do. He fritters with his tongue and his mouth, and he does that. You know, like an old man.
Why don't you look at me and you can see me
cleaning his
doing it?
plate. You know what I mean? And his mouth.
She won't look at me.
Well, no, you can't look at your plate. Come on, show
Anyway.
Emma what you do now.
She didn't like that.
No.
How lecherous is that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
What?
she was making a movie in Dublin called High Spirits, and she lived with Neil Jordan for a while, and then she split up with him, and then she went and she lived with Al Pacino, and she had twins by Al Pacino. They were together for about 6 or 7 years. Now they split up around about I don't know when, a few years ago. But she was here while she was here. She did a TV program in Belfast, which I was involved in, and I had to interview her. And do you ever meet someone and you just had an immediate bond?
No.
Never.
No.
No, do you ever meet someone and suddenly you just bonded with them immediately? Like
Jerry
something...
Kelly. I suppose it was the last person I bonded with.
No, I kind of mean,
What?
a woman, I know you bond with men, but do you ever meet a woman and just really bonded? Not in any kind of lecherous sense, but you just felt as if you were one. Did you ever meet that? Did you ever get that?
No.
No, but see, that's because you're not normal. Anyway, I met her, and there was kind of a spark between us. And she's this famous movie star, and I'm just me, And we were chatting away, and it was just wonderful. And she said to me later, she said, we must meet again. And it never happened. And then afterwards...
Says that to everyone. She'd probably say it to Eamon Holmes.
well, she wouldn't say it to Eamon Holmes, he'd be afraid.
Yeah.
Eamon Holmes, a very shy person. I always thought that Eamon was involved in that show, now that you mention it. Eamon was very strange, Women used to like Eamon.
Don't know the fella at all.
Do you know?
No.
Eamon's a nice guy.
Never met him. I
But do you know what I used to
don't
know?
think I've ever met him.
I always figured that Eamon should have been a priest. No, I
Yeah.
really do think that.
Yeah.
Because whenever we were doing this particular program in Belfast years ago that Beverly D'Angelo was on, I used to I would be with him, in kind of restaurants and things like that.
With who?
Eamon Holmes.
Oh,
Because he was one of the presenters.
Yeah,
It was me and him.
Oh, What was that? Was that the?
It was called The Show.
The Show.
A long time ago,
Yes,
anyway, it
yes,
was
yes.
notorious. But anyway, I would be
right.
with him.
Yes, yeah.
But everywhere he went, Eamon was a very, very good-looking guy.
He still is a
No, he's
handsome
not. No,
man.
he's good heavy now.
Well,
He's a big lump now. A big fat
don't
lump.
say that
He's a
about
big
him.
fat lump.
Don't say that.
He's
all
a
right.
big fat lump, for God's sake. He's a big fat lump, and he'd tell you that himself. Anyway, he was very good. He was very slim and very good looking, very dark. He was kind of like, kind of George Best thing going for a while. You tend to forget how good looking he was.
Who? George Best?
Eamon Holmes.
Oh, yes.
And whenever women used to flock to him. Used to come over and they used to sit down and talk to him and stuff. Really good looking women. And he used to get all red.
Yeah, rightly so.
No, but I used to say,
taking your soup and some.
I used to say, "Here, come on over here, talk to me. I don't get red. I never get red. Come on over here." No New Year would be complete without a progress report from Geordie Tuft, whose life can by no means be described as conventional.
I went to the Dunkel before Christmas, and I dug up. I brought in 2 bottles of poteen out of the Dunkel.
Yes, all right.
Ah,
Why did you keep them there?
Well, the cuss time, that kind of boys are always on the go.
Sneaking about.
Ah,
Well, you
and
see, I don't.
I was a poteen buried in the Dunkel.
The old revenue men. Well, listen, I thought people weren't as strict on men with poaching these days as they used to be in the past.
Oh, they're still at it.
Are they? I mean, there was a time when what did they call them? The revenue men? Is that what they called them? I used to go
couldn't
around
watch them.
isolated farmsteads looking for men with whiskey. Seemed to me always like a futile task.
Sure, when I was making a Jerry, they had to put horse dung and all in the fire to keep the smell out. But the nose on them good like a racing greyhound.
Right. So so the horse dung in the fire concealed the smell of the poaching.
It is, yes.
And what about your worm? How was it?
It's all right now. A wee bit bent there at the time of the big storm there. But I got stepping
I
back.
think many's a man's worm was bent at the time of the storm because it's a universal
It
problem.
was rough old time, Jerry. We had old snow and everything else.
Well, tell me this and tell me no more. Here's a thing that's a question that is as old as time itself. Men, now I have to say that in my youth I drank a fair bit of poaching. We used to get bottles of it, and whilst we were travelling around the country, it was the only thing that made you sleep. Well, in actual fact, it knocked you out. You didn't fall asleep; you went into a coma.
But it killed you.
Well, we used to spend many nights in old vans and stuff, travelling from here to there. You see, and a bottle of poaching was a great comfort to the likes of me,
was.
because after you started drinking that, half an hour later you're out like a light. Anyway, but the great problem with us was there's nothing you can mix it with.
No.
Now, but you have to mix it, but you can't drink it straight because it'll put your eyes out.
How you know the real poaching? If you put a wee drop in a simmer there and light a match and it was blue.
That's right.
That's the real stuff.
Well, I've done that grey whistle
Did you
test
do
myself.
that?
Yes, indeed. Many's a
Oh,
time.
boy, not many I text you don't know.
No, I've done that. But the only thing I ever found that could mix it satisfactorily was apple juice.
Well, there's some people now mix it with what they call honey, brown sugar.
What do you call
But
honey?
I'm not, no.
Well, I think that would work too. I mean, you can't put white lemonade or tonic in it.
No.
Or Coke. You can't do that. Any traditional mixes. I always found the apple juice, for some strange reason, seemed to kind of. It's an unusual taste. It's kind of acidic, and it's awful taste. And any man who drinks that straight, I mean, we shouldn't be talking about this.
I know it's against the law.
I know, that's why we shouldn't be talking about
There'll
it.
be policemen coming to the store, Radio
Jordy, be
Foyle,
very
dragging
careful.
you away.
Of course, when you talk about making it, Jordy, you're only talking theoretically.
But do you know, Jerry, another thing now you have to watch.
What's that?
You see, when you get a drop of parking nut, right? Well, see, the next morning, if you take a drink of water,
You're away again.
you're as drunk as game.
I know that.
So you, oh boy, is that what you don't know?
I know that. Always avoid water in the morning. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Goodbye.